Miami's Party Station, Power 96, your boy Casey Chopz. I have a special guest in the building, songwriter extraordinaire, Rico Love. How you feeling, sir?
I'm blessed, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man, no doubt. For the average listener, if you don't know who Rico Love is, I'm sure you've heard in many, many records on the air, Turn the Lights On, and people don't know what that is, but that's your tag. That's Rico Love certified stamp right there. How did that come about, that tag?
I used to hang out in this club in LA called Area. Like in 07, 08, it used to be like the spot, you know what I mean? And I used to, Sam Nazarian, Mams Taylor, and Cody, these guys were the owners of the club, and I was really close to Mams, who's still one of my good friends. And I would go to the club like every Tuesday and Thursday, and they would play the song by Pink Floyd called The Wall. And every time they get to the part when they say, "Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone," all the lights would go crazy around the club. So I just started screaming, "Turn the lights on" to myself. Okay. You know, in the club, just like some corny thing I used to do. And then one day I got in the studio and I just started saying it on the records. And my man Mams was like, "You should say that on every song you do." So it was something that stuck with me. And after that, started doing records. And I think the first song that I put it on was it was in the Sex and the City soundtrack. Like, so the opening credits, I wrote the theme song for Sex and the City, and then when a movie comes on, you hear Fergie saying 1, 2, 3, turn the lights on. So it was like, after that, it kind of like.
Do you have like any artists that like kind of like give you slack for that? Like, I don't want that in my song, or you tell them? Or...
No, in the beginning, one or two, but after Beyonce said it was like.
It's a trend now. So where you from, like originally?
I grew up in between Milwaukee and New York. I went to high school in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I grew up in New York. My father's from New York, my mother's from Milwaukee, so my parents had split custody growing up. So, Okay. And I went to high school in Milwaukee. Yeah.
Okay. So what led you to reside in Miami?
Man, you been in Miami before? My management company was based out of Miami. Mm-hmm. So when I came down here and connected with them, I just felt like, a better place to be. We were trying to build a brand, establish something new and fresh, and I don't feel like we could have got it accomplished if I was living in another place. Mm-hmm. So I decided to kind of make this my
home.
Yeah, my home.
No doubt, man. So how did your career start? Like, what kind of like made things take off for you? Like, took you to the next level?
Yeah, I started as a rapper, and then when my career took off when I wrote "Throwback," which was a song featured on the Confessions album. I wrote it for USHER. And after that song, I kind of realized that I had an ability to write songs. That was the first song I ever wrote. And USHER gave me that opportunity. And after that, I just kind of like kept grinding and kept hustling. Because I feel like, you can have some talent. You could be good at something, but if you don't put that work in, like I'm working every single day. So that's just who I am. It's just my drive. And it's because I love music. And I just kind of like, I feel like I'm robbing people, I'm robbing the industry. It's like so much fun to be able to do this. I'm like, damn, they gonna pay me for this? So I just want to make sure I make the best of it and have as much fun and make as much music as possible.
Mm-hmm. And we're going crazy in the music meeting because we heard the Freaks track, and it's like, oh my God, a 95 BPM, and people could dance to it. You know what I mean? Like, as DJs, we're hyped on that, man. So you saying hip hop is in like a box right now, did that make you want to do country? Because I heard you're trying to dab into the country.
I've been writing a lot of country music. I went to Nashville so I could do it the respectful way. And kind of, I didn't want to just try to sit in Miami, write a country song. I wanted to go to the Mecca. Right. And that's really kind of, all country records are written in Nashville and produced in Nashville. So I went to go there and make sure I pay homage. And I spent like a week and a half there, and then I just went the other day for like a day to work with Florida Georgia Line, did some work with them. I wrote with some of the biggest writers. I'm actually in the studio right now with Ashley Gorley, one of the biggest songwriters in country music. He's at Circle House right now working. Wow. So, just innovate them. I think great songs are great songs. So it's not like I'm just trying to, I want to do country now. I think country songs are great, amazing songs. I think they're R&B songs with an accent.
I was going to say, I just feel like the difference as far as like your approach when you're going to write songs?
Yeah, country songs is all about substance, and I feel like I made a career off writing substance. I made a career off writing top line that matter and that people that stick to people. That's why I have so many fans. When people see me, they have so much respect, not because I'm hot in the game, it's because I've written songs that I feel like affected them.
So you got to put yourself, you're writing about pickup trucks and
if it's cool, if it's going to be clever enough to stick with you, then I'll write about a pickup.
Yeah. So you're in Miami. What studio do you work out of, like, that you base yourself in?
A few spots. I'm really at Circle House most of the time. That's my
shout out to BB, his home team right there. No doubt, man.
But don't show up to Circle House. Yeah. They're not gonna let you in.
Do a lot of your stuff that you write come from personal experiences, or do you kind of?
Man, you know what happened? I started writing songs, and then this stuff started happening to me afterwards. How crazy is that? Like, started going through the things that I would write about after I wrote it. So
That's crazy. What's like the craziest thing you've ever like witnessed in the studio, man? Because I know you're in the studio every day. Like, I know artists have crazy requests that they need. I heard some dude, I forgot his name, but he needed a fog machine to record. Like, dudes have crazy. What's the craziest?
Diddy had a fog machine and strobe lights when we were doing Last Train to Paris.
What?
Yeah, he had the fog machine and strobe lights, but he created this setting. And if you listen to the album, and to me, Last Train to Paris is a classic. It's one of the greatest albums, like of this, millennium. I think, not saying this decade. Yeah. I think it's one of the greatest albums of the decades. And those are the songs, the ones that don't do as well. But if you listen to it sonically, when we were making that album, it felt like that in the studio every time. So
how was it working with Diddy? Because he's a legend. Like,
I mean, he's a legend. It's my big bro. He's a genius, man. He's like produced. He knows what he wants. And Last Train to Paris is his idea out of his mind. And sonically, he came up with it. I was there. I watched him come up with the whole everything, the whole vibe of the album. And I feel like, as opposed to Hello Good Morning, because that's the song I wrote for him. But other than that, he was so involved in every part of the album. And I was kind of upset when he did a record like Coming Home. I just felt like it didn't even fit the album at all. And even though it hit on the charts, I thought that was like, and that's my bro, I tell him. I just thought it was just one of those safe moves to do. And I feel like he put out a lot of safe records on that album. I think the album had a lot more cooler, like strobe lights and shades and those type of songs. I feel like those should have been singles. Those should have got a better shot.
You think
if I'm gonna lose, I want to lose with the cool stuff.
Yeah.